Alright, so right here we're looking at the airlift controller mounted in my ProClip. Obviously I swapped out the ProClip mount. This is where I used to keep my phone. Now I've moved my phone over there, which I'll show you in a bit. But basically this is a great spot for the airlift controller. It's a nice solid space. I could push these buttons all day long without having it wobble all over the place. And of course the wires are completely hidden, which again I'll show you in a bit. So today I just wanted to go over real quick how to rotate the screen. It takes a few minutes. It is a little confusing for some, but I'll walk you through it super fast. And a really cool thing that I've done is the if you guys are interested in the ProClip mount, they have a good little gap between the back of the device that you're sliding in. So what I did with the wire is I kind of wrapped it. As you can see, the wire is a little bit wrapped around, and then you can slide this in. Oops. You can go and slide this in, and now the wire is completely hidden from sight. I mean, you can, if you get down underneath here, you'll see the wire, but while you're driving, your passenger, no one sees the cabling. All right, so let's get started. First things first, ProClip, that's the easy part. You just take it and turn it, reposition it. I'm gonna make the wire visible just for the sake of this video because I don't want to rerun everything. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do while the car's running is we're gonna put this thing in show mode. All right, so now while you're in show mode, you get to enjoy the operation of your airlift controller without actually having your car running. All right, so now that we're in show mode, we can get started on this. So the first thing we're going to do to rotate the screen, there's no settings in the settings. For those of you who know settings, just by pushing these two buttons here, and you can get in there. Now you would think rotating the display would be in the display menu, but it's not there. All right, so the only way to rotate the display on the remote is to do it via the phone app. You want to go into settings, you want to go into about, and you want to go into check for firmware update. Well, as you check for firmware update, it's going to say no update available, update firmware anyway. You're going to say yes. When you say yes, okay, you're going to take a look, basically at the firmware version. Could take up to 10 minutes, so just make sure you're parked and not planning on going anywhere. Hit the update button, and right here, so you got no display, keypad normal, keypad right, keypad left. So since we are going up and down, we're going to put the keypad normal, which is up top. So we're going to hit the keypad normal, and the firmware update starts. Now you really don't want to mess around and do much with your phone. What I generally do is I set the phone right here, and I sit there and tap the phone when it starts going to sleep. Okay, firmware update complete. Alright, so the firmware update's done. You'll now notice that the display has rotated itself to the correct position. As you can see, my keypad is still in the wrong position. So when we put it into show mode, what show mode does is it basically allows your system to stay on with the ignition off for one full key cycle. So now that we're done, we're going to put the car in a run. And shut the car off. Alright, so now the airlift system is no longer in show mode. It's put itself to sleep. So now I'm going to slide this out. Okay, I'm going to unplug it. So we're just going to pull that. Okay, now you see these two screws right here? The two screws in the back. Don't lose these, they're really tiny. Put them right down here in my little cup holder. You can pop that screw out. And, oops, there you go. Now this falls out. Rotate it the way you want. As you can see, there's little connectors that go into here. So you just keep rotating it until you get it into the right position. Push it in place. You don't have to push hard. It doesn't click into place. It'll still fall out very easily. So you want to put your hand on the back of it, hold it in place, and screw these in. All right. I'll slide this back into place by clicking this in, pushing that up. And again, we're going to leave the wire exposed, kind of just basically tuck the cable right here, just so I can show that there is a cable connected. And that's it. So now I'm going to give it a quick wipe down, take a couple pictures, and then I'll show you guys how to flip it back to the other way. All right, we're back after doing all that lovely work. So once again, we're going to set this thing into show mode. Operation, show mode, on, save. So one of the cool things about having it in this mode is the fact that these buttons here line up with the words on the screen. Obviously it's not a touch screen, but back is this button, save is this button, home is this button. That remains the same when you rotate the controller. So now you have a screen sideways with back, save, and home, and then you got to use these buttons, which are over here, back, save, and home, to connect them. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But anyway, save, home, shut the car off. Airlift controller stays running for our next cycle. So what we're going to do is we're going to reconnect via Bluetooth. Okay, we got Bluetooth connectivity. Settings, about, check for firmware update, yes, update, and we want to have the keypad on the right. So keypad right. Now we're going to start the firmware upgrade, and we're going to let it go through its motions. Okay, firmware update's complete. Finally took 2 to 3 minutes, not too bad. All right, so we're done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn the car on. Turn the car off. It's now out of show mode. And we're gonna repeat the process to flip the controller, the keypad, in a different direction. I got my cool little East Coast Moparts tweaker screwdriver. It's got a Phillips and a flathead, not bad. It's perfect for this job. Okay, it's out. I want to arrange it in this direction. Okay, see, and it only goes, it does not work upside down, just so you guys know. There is no mounting position upside down. There's no pins that match up in this position. This is not a usable position. So we're going this way, keypad to the right, and I'll just push it into place. Nice and gentle. Again, it doesn't lock into place. Now what I like about this position, especially with the Pro Clip, is the fact that you can hide the wire so nicely. Okay, so again, rotate the Pro Clip to the position you want to store it in. If it's too loose or too tight with the Pro Clip, you can adjust right here. Just do this, loosen this screw, and then tighten it back up a little bit so it can hold it up. What I like to do is I like to get it a little tight, slide the device in, make sure I got the device in correctly. There we go. Okay, give it a good squeeze. Get a nice tight position on there. And I just give it a little tap to give it a little bit more closure. I tighten the screws, but not all the way, just to make sure I got a good, oh, that's perfect. See, now this is not going to fall out, but it's going to slide out with a little bit of pull. Tighten this up. Now that I'm in the position I want, I don't want this to be movable. I want it facing me at all times. So you go in here and you tighten this screw, and this tightens the play or the rotation or the swivel of this piece here. So get in there and make it nice and tight. And then what I like to do is we'll plug this in. Okay, I'm going to plug this in, but I'm not going to push the wire through the bottom. I'm just going to loop it around right behind the unit, slide it into place, and tuck it in. Now everything is hidden. This is nice and tight in position. I can push these buttons, no problem. You don't see this thing wobbling around or bouncing around while you're driving. It's perfect. All right, good to go. Let's start it up again. So you can see what I mean now by these buttons corresponding to back, save, and home. So we're gonna have to hit the save button, which is the center button there. Then we're gonna go to home, and we're gonna shut the car off. Not a really hard thing to do, only takes a couple minutes. It is a little odd that you have to do a firmware upgrade to get this going. So that's I don't know, I guess maybe something they could fix in the future. It would be nice to be able to flip this around without having to do a 3 to 5 minute firmware update. But we're good, we're sideways, we got the mount solid, we've got the wiring all hidden. I'll show you some pictures of what the wiring looks like because I got to do another photo shoot for the Pro Clip guys. I've been using Pro Clip for 4 years in all of my cars. We got it in the Magnum, we had it in the Honda, we had it in the Jeep, we had it in my previous Challenger, and they're awesome. They're a more expensive solution, but you get a device holder for your device. So you got an iPhone with a small case like me, or you get an iPhone with like an OtterBox, a giant case. All right, so they make individual parts for your devices, individual parts for your vehicle, and then you match the two of them together to get the perfect mounting solution. So this used to be my phone mount, but now we've got this for the airlift controller. All the wiring is hidden. Everything is hidden down into the car, inside the dash, down along the floorboard, into the trunk. No wires sticking out showing anywhere. Now we've got my other phone mount. Let me show you that one real quick. So as you can see, we got the airlift controller kicking over here. We've got the iPhone connected through Apple CarPlay. So I just ran it inside there, inside the trim, and we're connected to Apple CarPlay. So we've got everything going on there. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you're interested in grabbing a ProClip holder for your AccuAir or your airlift remote, I will drop a link in the description and the part number for this piece right here. And we have a discount with these guys. Code WorkPlayDrive will save you a couple bucks off your purchase. I don't get any kickbacks for that purchase, but you guys do save some money. And from time to time, ProClip throws me some free stuff so I can do cool videos and take some pictures and make sure my car is fitted safely with mounts that don't fall down. If you remember that very first ProClip video where the phone just fell right in the middle of the video, that was pretty hilarious. So getting started, I've got an array of phones in front of me, ranging from cheap eBay stuff to, you know, $20 to $30 Amazon mounts, and they're all pretty good, and well, except for that one. Anyway, if you guys are enjoying the content, don't forget to gently press that like button. If you're stopping by for the first time, please consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching.